Anticipate your anxiety. If you're prone to anxiety, and particularly if you're somebody that does suffer from panic attacks, you're more than likely aware of what your triggers are. So anticipate your anxiety by identifying the triggers and trying to avoid them during the planning stages and also on your wedding day itself. It could be that having photos make you feel really uncomfortable. Well, don't have a photographer. Or ask a friend to do some really informal photos so that you don't feel stressed at the formality of it all. Be decisive. There are so many decisions to make around a wedding, and it depends on how much minutiae of detail you're going into, but it could be the design of your invitations, the wording on your invitations. Are you having table plans, or are you having free seating? Are you having menu choices? Are you having children? Are you not? There's a lot to think about. So break this down on your to-do list and create yourself some deadlines. Be decisive about what you need to choose and when. This will help keep the ball rolling moving forwards. Try to remember that comparison is the thief of joy. You know that wedding you went to the other year? That was amazing! Everything about it was perfect. Don't try and copy it, because if you try and copy it, it will never in your head be as perfect as the first time you experienced it. Do your way for your day. Set yourself a wide contingency. You set the budget for your wedding, nobody else. So between the two of you, decide how much money you want to allocate to different areas of your wedding. But it's probably worth having a contingency pot of money, maybe 15 to 20%, just in case things keep going above and beyond what you were looking to actually spend in the first place. If you have the contingency budget in place, there's less stress when you're scrambling around trying to find money. Take time away from your planning. You're having a wedding because you adore each other. Don't let yourselves get bogged down in the wedding planning. Yes, there's lots to do, but if you can dedicate some time to doing it, but also dedicate time to yourselves, that will really help you keep your chilled vibe going. You know, have your date nights, have days where you don't look at Pinterest, look at Instagram, etc. Have days where you are just you two. Pretend you're getting married a month earlier. Sounds crazy, right? But if you're working 4 weeks in advance, everything should be completely planned and prepared, giving you 4 weeks grace. Let's be honest, a couple of things are going to roll over. So even if it's one or two things that roll over into the fourth or the third week, you could still probably give yourself a good fortnight of just pure chill time before your wedding. Spell things out for your guests. Absolutely. We love our friends and family, and that is the reason they're invited to our wedding, right? But sometimes they can be a little bit needy. So to try and head things off at the pass, when you're sending out your invitations, however you're doing it, traditional or online, etc., if you can provide as much information as possible, that will help you stress less nearer the day. What you don't want is somebody 1 or 2 days before the wedding asking for the postcode. We know you've already given it to them. Or asking what the dress code is. We know it's on the invite. But if you can try and get this information out to them, and whether you've got a group chat or a group Facebook group or whatever, reiterate that information again so there's a portal for them to go to. It will just stop those silly questions, particularly on the morning of your wedding. You want to be organising yourselves and enjoying the day rather than organising other people. Trust your friends. You are gorgeous. You're already gorgeous, the pair of you. But what is going to really stand out on your wedding day is that glow of love that is going to surround you. It's really easy to get drawn into the stress of, are my eyebrows perfect? Are my teeth white enough? Am I the right weight? Am I the right size? You know what? You are you, and you are having a wedding because you love the other person as they are. You don't need to be anybody else's idea of perfect apart from your own and your loved ones. Stop. Don't get involved in any drama.
Drama! There will always be an element of drama around any event, particularly one with so many people that are attending. But let's refocus and remember that this is your wedding day. Other people's dramas are not your issues.
Choose to enjoy it.
Make a conscious choice to enjoy your day. Sounds a bit funny, but I think a lot of people prepare themselves for anxiety, which is good, but then expect it on the day. You might not necessarily have any anxiety on the day, and you might be totally chilled out even if things go wrong. So make that decision in the back of your mind that in the lead up to the wedding and on the day, you're just going to bask in the happiness and love.
Really try not to get hung up on the small stuff.
Your wedding to-do list will have 101 things on it, and some of those things will be very small details that only you will know about, and we'll come back to that with a later post. However, try not to get hung up on those, because when you walk away from a wedding, people won't remember any small things that go wrong. And actually ask yourself, if this was just a party, would this even bother me?
Remember, it takes two to plan a wedding.
A wedding traditionally involves two people. Hey, we're not averse to a wedding for one or a wedding for more than one. But one of the most important things to remember is that there invariably are two people involved in the wedding planning. And sometimes stress and anxiety builds up if one person's doing or feeling like they're holding most of the responsibility. So make sure you're sharing jobs, make sure that you're both on the same page, and that will just reduce your stress load and you'll start enjoying it more as you're
It's totally okay to have a bit of a meltdown.
Meltdowns absolutely happen, and they come in many shapes and forms. It might be a stroppy conversation with somebody. It could be a very firmly worded email. It could be crying on your own in the car when you're driving to the supermarket. It could be cuddling up with the cat or the dog and just whimpering into their fur. It's absolutely okay to release some of the stress that you feel. What's not okay is if you're getting to this point and you feel like you don't have a release. So do try to remember, if you do have some little meltdowns, it's absolutely fine. I personally remember the day before my wedding making people put their hands up if they wanted to talk to me, because everybody was asking me questions at the same time. It sounds absolutely ridiculous now when I look back on it, but at the time I was so stressed with trying to field and answer questions, bing, 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 that I just turned into a little bit of a bridezilla. You know what? It happens. And 20 minutes later, I apologise to everybody. So don't beat yourself up, and just make sure that you've got some kind of venting mechanism.
It's meant to be fun and it's meant to be exciting. If you're finding it too overwhelming, perhaps you need to ask yourselves, are you planning the right wedding? Should you be maybe looking at a small wedding or an elopement? What's right for you? Don't let it stress you out. Enjoy.